Alright, in this lesson what we're doing is looking at applications of Pythagoras' theorem, so when we use that in the real world. And we've got a word problem up here, and regardless of what that word problem is, we should still be following our same 5 set of steps. So we should still be considering drawing that triangle, labelling the sides, remembering that we are trying to find sides that are either A, B or C. We then need to choose a rule. We've got our standard A squared plus B squared equals C squared, or we've got those rearrangements. So A squared equals C squared minus B squared, or B squared equals C squared minus A squared, right? So there are our two rearrangements. We've got our step 4, which is substituting our numbers, and our step 5, which is our solve, okay? So our same 5 sets of steps will work for all of these problems. All right, our problem. A ladder 3.5 meters long leans against a vertical wall. Its base is 1.5 meters from the wall. How high up the wall does the ladder reach? Okay, so let's draw. Firstly, we have to draw a bit of a picture before we can get to our triangle. So this is our wall, and this is our ladder leaning up against the wall. Its base is 1.5 meters from the wall, right, remembering that this part is our ladder. We are trying to find out how high up the wall it reaches. We don't know. And we do know that the ladder is 3.5 meters long. Okay, so we have some information there that we can go with. Now, you don't have to draw any kind of fancy picture, but you might like to then translate that into a nice simple mathematical drawing. And we assume that the wall to the ground is our right angle, okay? So we've got 3.5 meters, we've got our 1.5 meters, and we've got our x there. Now we actually have our triangle drawn. We need to label its sides. Here's our right angle, so across from here we've got our C, our hypotenuse, and we've got an A and we've got a B, right? So it looks like what we're trying to find here is B, and in order to choose a rule, we need to say, okay, if we're finding B, then we've got our rearranged rules. So we would have to say B squared, because that's what we'd be finding, B squared equals C squared take A squared. So our first 3 steps done already, and our last 2 are simply using the numbers we've been given. So we are trying to find B squared, we don't know what it is. We can actually replace that if we wanted with x squared, that's fine. C squared, we've got C is 3.5 squared. Our A value is 1.5 squared. So if we had to do those bits in our calculator, we would get 12.25. Take 2.25. Our x squared value then, if we actually worked with that, is 10. Remember, we don't want x squared, we want x, so we have to square root both of those. The square root of x squared is going to be x, and the square root of 10 is 3.16, and we're talking in meters here. So now we know the ladder reaches 3.16 meters up the wall. We've applied our same set of steps using our same Pythagoras theorem rules, whether we've used our traditional one or we've rearranged it to find one of the shorter sides, right? That's probably the most confusing part of this, is deciding what am I finding? Have I labelled the correct sides as the correct letters? We have to make sure that that right angle is where it is so that we can get our C or our hypotenuse correct, and that's what's going to make or break our problem.